So thank you for hopping on with me. I wanted to talk to you about, well, first of all, congratulations on your athlete. That's pretty amazing how
Thank you.
quickly he turned it around from Chicago.
Well, he was ready in Chicago. I mean, his fitness level was right there. And anytime you're in marathon, there's always a chance that he had a bad day. And he's a great marathoner. So it can happen to anybody. And it just so happened, we've been fortunate along the way that John has not had many of those. And so for him to have one of those is, it's a terrible thing to have happen, but it does happen.
Yes, yes, yes. And just to clarify, because Chicago, he had a statement that was a very positive statement afterwards, but we didn't really know what happened in Chicago. So was it a stomach issue, or was it where it was just a bad day and he decided to pull the plug?
We're not sure, and I've talked to John about that, and he's not even sure whether it was a situation where it was something that he ate, a stomach cramp, just a muscle tensing up. Who knows? You just can't predict that. And anyone who's run a marathon realizes that anytime you put your foot to the line, there's a chance you won't finish.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And especially with the elite athletes, you want to preserve the legs. And on to my next question. I knew right away John was going to run because I know that usually you have your athlete not train. How soon did he actually make that decision to hop into Valencia?
Valencia, yeah. Well, we took some time to do that, and we weren't sure. Even so, we had to see how the training went. Actually, we knew that his fitness level was there, so we looked at three options after Chicago. One was just get ready for a spring marathon. Two, do a couple of half marathons to continue to tune up. Or three, find a marathon that suited him and so on, and then go back to training. And so, we had a long discussion about it as a coaching team. And when I say coaching team, his older brother Leslie and his manager, myself, and company, and said, well, what don't we do here? And we decided, okay, I think probably the best thing is he will have a tough time between another marathon, a late marathon in the year, and a sprint marathon to recover adequately. And so that's what we chose to do. And thankfully, we had a relationship, Valencia, and so they were very accommodating to us and said, yes, we would love to have it. And so that's why we chose Valencia. And it ended up not only being something to see him, but I think it was a positive experience for all of us. We found that it was a good environment for him. It's a good environment for Valencia.
Yeah, perfect. Well, that worked out obviously really well. And I know that you guys didn't really announce officially he was going to run Valencia until fairly close to the race. And it happened to have happened shortly after it was announced that there was a €1 million bonus for the race of Valencia for anyone breaking the world record. So tell me how that worked with you guys, because I know I talked to John and John said his only reason for coming was to win and not to focus on anything else.
That had nothing to do with want to win. The purpose of going there was to get, when you're in the kind of shape that John was in, you need to capitalize on the own time, but to show that you're back on it. And John needed to prove that to himself and to others to some extent. But certainly, the bonus structure had nothing to do with it. That was going and proving to himself and to others that I'm a winner and I'm going to go win. And uh, our race plan was quite different this time. And if you look at the first half of the race, he was very patient this time. And at one point, he was hit behind the pacer and let Saw take over the lead. And when he felt comfortable, he decided at that point it's time to again push through the pace. And if you look at the splits on it, a very good pace during the early parts of the race, and then eventually developed into the last half of the race was significant. And John handled it beautifully, and he was learning very well very bold himself and know his own, getting comfortable with his own standard.
Perfect, perfect. And now take me back for you as a coach. How difficult is it to manage an athlete's mental state after a DNF? What specific methods or conversation did you use to help John channel that disappointment into a win focusing on Valencia?
Chicago came to my house for a few days, and we sat down on the first day, and we just sort of sat and ruminated over it, and we said, okay, let's try and analyze it. So we talked about it, and he said, okay, what happened? And neither one of us could identify anything specifically that might deter his performance in Chicago. So we sort of chalked a one off with, let's just go do something. And so at that point, that's when we decided there's nothing wrong with, if you're in a car race and you put a new tire on and you go, and you get back into the race. And a bull rider, you get thrown off the bull, you get back like that. The best thing we can do is as quickly as possible get back onto the ball and let's go right again. And so that made us determine it's finally to get another winter wear because, he only went, I mean, when I say only went, he went 20 miles. So it didn't take out of what it might have if he wanted to go on and, believe in full rest after a marathon. So we felt like that he wasn't fully spent at the time of the Chicago one. At that point, we felt like we could possibly take a couple of weeks down and then get a few weeks in and then come into a
Yeah, and that worked beautifully. So congratulations again. And what is next for you and John?
we aren't sure that we know that he's going to run spring marathon somewhere. So we're looking at it and his agent Emily and John and are talking about that and looking to see what is the best option for him and the race promoter. And he's done a great job on supporting John.
Yes, yes. And I know that John had planned on eventually winning all the majors. Is that something he's still looking to do? Or do you think, given his state of fitness and how great he is, you are more going for a goal like the world record?
I think John stated it very well. Too many people put a goal in mind that is a number goal rather than an eternal goal. And John wants to do the best he can within himself and be the best he can be. So let's just go keep running good races. He's done a great job of navigating that for years now, and just keep doing. And we'll let those things happen as they happen.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Oh, you're welcome. And I look forward to getting a chance to see you one day.